This pond also has an internal filter in it, and it's good to give the internal filter a clean depending on how dirty it is. And this one also has a UV sterilizer in it here. So the UV sterilizers really need to be replaced yearly. So we might actually want to arrange to replace that UV sterilizer as well. So where possible, you want to try not to put your fish pond under really residual trees, because something you want to do on a fairly regular basis is to net out all the leaves, because the decomposing leaves are going to deteriorate the water quality of the pond. So regular scoopy scoops really help. Just the sheer number and size of these fish for this pond is really quite amazing. So it has a couple of filters on it. It's fed good quality foods. It's got regular water changes. So all the right stuff's happening. But what we have to be aware of is that every single ecosystem, when it hits its biological capacity, then Mother Nature is going to send you a catastrophe. That's basically what happens. So when you end up with too many fish in any ecosystem, either slowly Mother Nature will knock a few of them off, which might be by reducing their immune system due to increased levels of pheromones and phenols or whatever, or she might send you a disease and wipe a bunch of them out, because ultimately you can't break her rules, and she says that you've got to have balance, and if you don't offer balance, then she will give you balance. So no matter what ecosystem you've got, no matter what pond you've got, if the fish are growing and they're growing and they're breeding and they're growing, and then eventually they'll hit maximum capacity, and then that's when Mother Nature kicks in. So in this case, we're right there. So a bigger pond is the current conversation. Otherwise, really regular water changes and really keeping an eye on them. And then if you weren't going to get a bigger pond, the only other option would be to think about getting a couple out and reducing the load. Because once again, if you don't take a couple out and reduce the load, then Mother Nature will. But right now, their health is very good. Like, they look very good. But the warning signs are here. The warning signs are, one, the fish are too big for the pond, and there is a little bit of ammonia in the water right now. So when Mother Nature speaks, we have to listen. You're refilling any pond or aquarium, the best way of doing it is to fill the water in the bucket, treat the water in the bucket, and then put it in the pond. When you're talking about something that's over 1,000 litres, that'll take you a long time. So what most people will tend to do is you put the hose in there, and you don't want to fill up more than about 5 centimetres. When you fill up 5 centimetres, you then add your water ager for the volume of the pond. Then you let it fill up another 5 centimetres, then add the water ager again. Because what you don't want is the concentration of water ager to get too high. Otherwise, then you'll start to kill off your good bacteria, and that will absolutely risk the life of your fish. The other thing you don't ever want to do is fill up the tap and then answer the phone or get distracted because you leave the tap on, and that can flush the pond, which many people have done with devastating effects. So you got to try and keep your concentration about you. Whack a bit of water ager in. Now the GH of this pond is currently 10, which I'm very happy with. They've just done a water change, so I'm just going to put a little bit of GH salt in the water. That just really helps their immune system. And because currently there is a bit of ammonia and low pH, looking after the fish's immune system is a good idea. And I really want this water retested at least once a week. So bringing a little video of the pond running and bringing a sample of water down to the shop once a week, if that's going to be possible, will be wonderful. Because what we're going to need to do is keep doing water changes, and we're going to have to raise the pH. So the pH needs to be raised slowly. Otherwise, we risk killing the fish due to increased ammonia toxicity. So this pond here has got what looks like an Aquamax all-in-one filter, which has a UV and everything. And it's got a nice little head on it, which is oxygenating the water very nicely. And then around this side, we have an Owasa, which is pretty much my favorite type of pond filter. They're so fabulous and they're so easy to clean. And the Owasa is returning water into a pot at the back there, and that's a really lovely feature. And you could actually get a pot that was much taller than the pond, and then that would be increased water volume for the pond, which is a good thing. And then you can also put any extra biomedia in there if you wanted to, and it's just a beautiful physical feature that allows you to aerate the water nicely as the water returns back into the pond, and really looks very lovely. Now, we're a little bit concerned at the moment because the water quality in this pond has deteriorated due to the amount of fish that's in it, and that they haven't been able to receive their normal maintenance. So another product that never hurts to add in these situations is a product called Voogle. And what Voogle does is help to artificially enhance the immune system of the fish. So if you wanted to just know that you're doing everything you can for your beloved fish, then anytime that anything happens, especially if it involves lower quality water, then putting a dose of Voogle in is certainly a good little peace of mind.